I'm here at the International Energy Forum with Richard Newell from Resources for the Future. Thank you so much, Richard, for joining us. Of course, everybody is looking at resources for the future, but talk to me a little bit about the organization that actually has this wonderful title.
So Resources for the Future, which I lead, has actually been around since 1952, and we're focused on economics of environmental, energy, and resource issues. What we do is bring research insights and engagement with the policy sector in the United States and around the world. We've been working on key issues at the interface of the energy system, the environment, and the economy for many decades now. Increasingly over the last couple decades, that's been around issues of the globalization of the energy system and also around issues related to climate change.
Now we're here at the Symposium for the IEA and the OPEC outlooks, the IEF organizing this. How important are these outlooks for yourself, for all of the organizations that will look at the work that other organizations do, and particularly looking at outlooks when you're looking at the long term particularly?
Yeah, the use of outlooks is incredibly important. Particularly long-term outlooks, while it may seem a little bit crazy even to look several decades into the future to try and project where we might be several decades from now. It's incredibly important because of the lasting impact that we have on the energy system, both in terms of investment, which is very long lasting, and also increasingly some of the environmental implications of the energy system are also very long lasting. So we need to take a long-term perspective on this. I've actually been working with the International Energy Forum since the first outlook, since the first symposium on energy outlooks 10 years ago. At the time I was the head of what's called the U.S. Energy Information Administration, which is the U.S. Statistical Analytical Agency for Energy. After that I continued to stay engaged with the International Energy Forum, working with the IEF, with OPEC, and with IEA, doing comparisons of the IEA and OPEC outlooks. We've made tremendous progress. I was reflecting earlier on when I think back 10 years ago, the level of discourse, the level of information sharing, the level of improvement in terms of being able to compare the different works of the IEA and OPEC have improved markedly.
And again, your involvement in this this symposium here. Obviously, we hear from different people here. We have analysts, we have policymakers, we have key players here, and even the private sector. I mean, how important is it that the dialogue, I suppose, is expanded and that everybody gets a seat at the table, really?
It's incredibly important. One of the ways that we've done that is by looking beyond the IEA and the OPEC outlooks to also include comparison of outlooks from other institutions like the Energy Information Administration in the United States, like large energy producers, companies such as BP and Exxon, and Equinor, and we've created something called the Global Energy Outlook, which has a data tool associated with it where users, including anybody who wants online, can go to rff.org/geo, and be able to download these data themselves. And what we've done is put all these different outlooks on an apples-to-apples comparative basis so that we can really get a sense of the different insights of the different organizations for what our longer-term energy future might look like.
And of course, it'll be a tremendous use to so many people out there. Again, looking at the IEF, 20 years in place now, really, that consumer-producer dialogue. When we look to the future, how important do you think and how relevant this organization will be?
I think it's very relevant. Even the definition of producer relative to consumer it changes over time. As we know, the United States is now the world's largest oil and gas producer, even though it's a member of the IEA, which we call the set of consuming countries. So, the world changes. Also, the increasing connectedness of the energy, not just to our economic well-being, but also to our broader environmental well-being, and how over the next several decades, producers and consumers of energy, really people, will get together to meet not only our energy needs, but also our environmental needs. That'll be an increasing challenge over the next couple decades.